Welcome to the South of King's Landing, Explosion Network's House of the Dragon after show, where we discuss and break down each and every episode of House of the Dragon Season 1. My name's Don Blight, and joining me, Hand of the King, Mark II, Mark III, Ashley Hobley. Don't get killed in the fire.
Yep. I'm excited to be here and not get killed by fire, Dracarys. I'm excited to be here, definitely with my dragon. It's a pig with wings.
Pig with wings, yeah. A lot safer with pig wings. Yeah. A lot of people burning in this.
This show would be much improved if the dragons were pigs with wings, in my opinion.
It was a pretty big pig, too. So
yeah.
You know, it wasn't a small pig.
It just agreed to it, you know?
Yeah. It was a nice pig.
And it came out of the dragon pit, which is impressive because, you know.
Yeah, it survived.
It survived being down in the dragon pit, which that kid nearly didn't. Yeah.
That's a good point. This week's episode, The Princess and the Queen, directed by Miguel Sapochnik, written by Ryan J. Condal and Sara Hess, synopsis of which was 10 years later. Rhaenyra navigates Alicent's continued speculation about her children, while Daemon and Laena weigh an offer in Pentos. What do you think of this week's episode, where we've jumped ahead a whole 10 years? We've switched actors. We now have Olivia Cooke. We now have Emma Darcy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. You know, it's felt like a little bit of a reset because obviously, you know, there is the biggest time jump we've had so far. Again, completely new actresses, a bunch of new characters, a whole bunch of names being thrown at us throughout the whole entire episode. Whether it's the new baby Joffrey or, you know, Aegon and all these other children. And characters have very much changed. I'm sure we're going to talk about Christian Cole in a bit. And then, you know, other people have kind of wormed their way to the front. Other people just die randomly. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode. But yeah, a bit jarring.
I thought it was a very good episode. I loved the opening. I thought basically a one-shot birth into the slow walk up to the Queen's chambers did such a good job of, like, I feel like that scene did more in setting up and making Alicent feel like a bitch than anything else in the episode. You know, like that the whole fact that you literally start with her giving birth and then someone's like, oh, she wants a baby, and then Rhaenyra's like, well, I'm fucking coming. And then you just have that whole scene like play out very slowly, a walk up thing. But you also then get to see whatever the lack of sort of care or whatever her husband's name is. I can't remember.
Viserys? Oh, her husband?
Laenor,
yeah.
Like he's very like, you know, he bursts in at the last minute.
Like, hey.
Yeah. Then paired that with other things. So yeah, I'd be like, by the end of the episode, I feel like it'd be hard not to be team Rhaenyra. Like, do you fit? It's like, is there any like? Do you think the show is doing any attempts to, like, actually have you like just? Surely she's being painted as Rhaenyra's being painted as the
protagonist,
protagonist, and Alicent is very much the villain. Surely.
I mean,
there's any grey factor there?
I think so. Yeah. I think there's clearly been a slight. I mean, it's the evil stepmother is kind of a classic trope, I guess. So, yeah, I think with Rhaenyra has been, you know, the person we are more endearing to, you know, at least at this point, you know. I feel like Alicent we felt more bad for earlier, you know, when she was pretty much just given up to the king by her dad.
Yeah. But now
it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know when the turning point was, you know.
Well, the turning point was when she got told by her dad, Otto, that he says right as he's leaving that Rhaenyra will have her children killed, basically. And she repeats that same like
sentiment straight to
Aegon as he's jerking off out the window.
As Targaryens do. Yes.
I saw someone on Twitter point out, right, and I didn't realize at first, but yeah, that's the window.
That's the window.
That's the window, yeah.
Tommen
jumps out of.
Tommen just jumps or walks out of, yeah.
walked out of. Yeah, however you want to say it. But so yeah, she repeats that, and I mean, I at this stage, especially prior episode, 10 years ago, it's just bullshit. Like there's no reason for there to ever actually be other than Otto. And I don't even think I don't think Otto even says it out of fear for his grandchildren's life. He says it out of wanting his family to be on the
secure
throne.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, but she's brought into this bullshit so much, or this fear of her children, which I guess you can understand to a degree, like a mother's fear for her children sort of thing. But I think she's taken it a step further to now she's playing into the not only wanting to protect her children, but wanting her family to be on the throne. And she's just, throughout this entire episode, and, props to Olivia Cooke, and I definitely feel like Olivia Cooke, and by the way, I found out Emma Darcy uses is non-binary pronouns, so this morning when I was doing some research, so you can refer, the character is a she, but Emma is referred to as they. That's the just to clear up that. But the Olivia Cooke and Emma Darcy definitely do they both feel like their previous members. I like there was like a degree of me missing the old actors, but then I definitely brought into them, and they have a lot of heat between them. Like I don't want to say it's chemistry because I don't know if chemistry is usually a good word, but their scenes together, you can feel the tension. Like
I think it's the council meeting.
The one is it the one where like where Rhaenyra says, like you can have a dragon egg and you can like we'll marry our families, and what's the fucking king's name? Viserys is very much like I'm on board. Yeah, that sounds great. That's he literally like to my he's so son, you can tell he's so happy with his daughter for once. He's like, that's a very honorable acquisition. Like you're finally doing the right thing, and then looks over and his wife is like, I'll fucking kill you. Like literally like 2 minutes later walks down this corridor or whatever, and it's like it's a very great offer. And then Alicent's like, over my dead cold fucking body you'll get what you want. Like it's like, okay, well, and the thing is, like, that's the other thing, what I mean, like, you can, like, I feel like anyone watching the show being like treating Rhaenyra like the villain because she's had children with someone else, like, the whole thing is you've got a gay man who's having to pretend to be straight, then you've got a woman who's been forced to marry him, pretending to have children, and she's had children with someone else. Also,
they're cousins.
That's another thing. Yes, that's another thing. But again, we just try not to bring that up. Yeah, we spend fucking forever talking about how that's actually not okay in the real world. But anyway, you've then got she has a romantic relationship with someone that she actually likes and has children with someone she actually likes. Like, I really feel like if anyone's on Twitter claiming that Rhaenyra's the bad guy for having children with someone who's not her husband, who's a gay man, who's pretending to be straight, like, in what world is that like the right narrative to have? I don't understand how you could be. I just don't. Like, how is she the villain for that? I don't get it. I
mean, you could have tried to make it at least
how do you
one.
Make it. Well, that's the thing. You never see them discuss. And do you really want to go down that road of like, how come the gay man couldn't ejaculate in the street? You know what I mean? Like, you want to go down,
get some pots.
That's
get some syringes. I don't know. Have they got a turkey baster in?
So I don't know.
You got to do what you got to do. It's what I'm saying.
It's a whole lot.
For the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And then the fact that like it's so bad to the point that it's like, look, if what gets proven true, it's like, oh, not only will Rhaenyra die, so whatever his name is will die. Well, he dies anyway. But then, all the children will die for being bastards and stuff. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Everyone chill out. By the way, I want to say, I loved Rancor in this episode. And I was very sad when he died at the end. Because I was really liking him. Like, that scene between him and we can now chuck in Kristen Cole, the scene where they're training the kids. It is impossible not to like Rancor. What the fuck's the character's name? Harwin, Sir Harwin Strong. It's impossible not to write like Harwin in that scene and not hate Kristen, because he's 100% right. Like, he doesn't say anything wrong. He just says like, I've got nothing against your training method, but maybe just train everyone equally is what he's saying, which you can tell. He's focusing on Alicent's kids and wanting to make them very good, and doesn't give any fucks about Rhaenyra's kids. So he's 100% right. And then he does push the other kid to, be brutal and pick on things. Like this, that scene really plays out. Like, he comes across as a very good, like, noble knight. And Kristen, who was so about honor and all this stuff, it comes across as a piece of shit, and then literally 2 minutes later calls Rhaenyra a spoilt cunt. So, I mean, like, this...
she is 100% heel turn.
Really is.
As all the memes are going around, it's like the exact representation of a woman saying no to a certain subset of men, Yeah, I won't marry you.
I saw the Twitter thing where he's like, why won't you marry me? And then it's like, she's a sport cunt. Like,
I'm pretty sure I've seen like Instagram DMs like that, but women post,
So I went from liking that guy to really not liking him at all pretty quickly.
Pretty great villainous character, I guess.
100% heel turn.
Yeah, it's interesting. You want to kind of know what in the 10 years kind of led him to. Because last time we saw him, he was about to kill himself.
He was about to fucking... he was about to samurai fully, whatever you call it.
Hirakiri.
Hirakiri. Himself, so... And that's the thing, like I was saying last week, I just don't understand how he could have a heel turn, because he was so obsessed with his honor. But, I guess what happened, that's what happens when you do turn to the dark side.
kind of turned him, yeah.
Alicent turns him.
Talk to him in like...
Yeah. He must be tricking himself, because, he must be going to bed every night like, I'm doing the honorable thing by doing this or whatever else. But really, he thinks he's on the right side, but really he's just bringing us.
He's a bitter old knight, doing, being a bitch.
Awesome.
Not even hiding it,
Weird. Because I actually... After episode finished, I actually rewound quickly, because I was like, did that motherfucker just die? And I had to, like, confirm. Because I was like...
Very sad.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe, because for a second I was like...
we have to assume he died. But, we never see his body.
No, you see 2 bodies come out then. So that's a reason.
There could be any 2 bodies in that.
It's true. I'm going to assume he did die.
I think he is, because people are very upset because they never got to see, Harwin inseminating.
Okay, right.
That's what the internet wanted,
And it's very sad, because literally 5 minutes prior to watching him basically burn alive with his dad,
saying
2
goodbye to
characters
those
who
kids.
were very 2 characters look, and you have that sad scene where his dad's going off at him saying he's like ruined the family. Look, and I get it to a degree. However, both of those characters for their own parts definitely seem like just honorable, good people.
Yeah.
And I don't. Yeah. So. Like, seeing them both die, of course, in Game of Thrones isn't nothing new. The good characters usually die very quickly, and then the bad ones survive the longest. But the seeing that afterwards, where he's saying goodbye to his kids, I thought was like a very well put together performance by everyone involved there. I thought, like, the way Emma Darcy, you could tell, like, sort of, behind the eyes emotion of it all, but not actually saying anything, because of course the kids are there and everything like that. Yeah, can't say anything. I thought that was very well played by everyone there. A very sad scene. Then he just dies 2 minutes later, and it's just like, okay. I very much, the last like 10 minutes of this episode, just seeing everything play out. The fact that, this old cunt, what the fuck is that dude's name? The younger brother, Larys Strong. This motherfucking Weasley. Yeah, old fucking Clubfoot. What a piece of shit. Like, he's the first to draw the cards. Was making comparisons to Littlefinger last week or whatever, but he's confirmed it now by like having people's cunts having it to people's tongues. Jesus Christ,
that's messed up.
That is, so
I think that's the most messed up thing in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, why he's done it, so they can't
talk. They can't tell
them
them what they did.
Yeah,
because I'm sure none of them can write either. So
no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, none of them can read or write. But then as soon as I said it, I was like, wait,
that makes sense.
They probably actually can't read or write. So it's probably why it doesn't actually matter. They can't read or write. They'd have to teach them to write to be able to write who did it. So that's fine. But yeah, that motherfucker, like, can't wait to see him die.
He just weaseled his way over the top of Alicent, complete.
Yeah. How do you feel about Alicent then, where she's saying, I didn't want that, but I feel like she did. She just didn't like.
I don't think she wanted to go that far,
But if he had tripped and fallen,
I think it's not just that. It's just her realizing that he's got something over her now. That he can use to push his own advances. Yeah. What he wants exactly is, I assume, not completely clear. I assume he wants to be head of his house or whatever, but
I assume he wants to be hand of the house. I assume he wants to be handed it.
That's what I think as well. He wants to be.
He wants to be hand.
He wants to be power of the council, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Littlefinger wanted. So.
Yep.
He wanted to not be king, but be fucking close enough that he could do
whatever he wanted. Yeah.
So yeah, that worked out for him. So, anything else? The Daemon stuff we haven't really touched on. That's obviously. Quickly shout out Viserys starting the episode. I think I did say last week. I was like, I bet you we skip ahead next week and he's got no fucking arm. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because I was like, that way his arm looked last week, I was like, there's no way that shit ain't getting chopped off. They already cut his finger.
I didn't even notice.
You didn't notice? Yeah. So when when he walks, if you look, he has no arm in that side of the shirt or whatever. Like you can see it's just like empty. So yeah, he's missing an arm. They cut off the gangrenous arm. Yeah. Gone. And he looks like fucking like he
looks like shit.
He looks like absolute ass. He does. He's dying very slowly, but
yeah. I love the scene of Alicent like putting the blanket around him. And then he gets up and she's like upset the blanket's not around him.
And then she
just walks out.
Just walks out. Yeah. Fuck her, man. I'm sick of her shit already. So then we got Daemon over with whatever.
Laena.
Is it Laena? Yeah. So he's got a bunch of kids now. Good for him. They're over exploring the Valeria area and Davos and Bavroth and whatever. Yep. Wherever Daenerys starts season 1 of Game of Thrones, like that side of the world. Fun, exploring. It seems to me that Daemon's liking it because he's like far away and he can just sort of fly around with dragons and have fun and be his own person. And he sort of like tried to let go of the whole Rhaenyra throne, his father, all the, whatever, his brother, sorry. He's all this sort of shit. So, but then, you have that messed up scene where can't get the kid out and that very sad scene with the dragon, you can tell doesn't want to burn her, but Vicaris? Yeah, does it. Does it again, so that's sort of sad. But yeah, what do you think of Daemon in this episode? Because it was like a lot. He didn't seem dead. He just seems like personality.
He just didn't seem himself.
He didn't seem himself. He just seems more content on not caring. But then he doesn't have that fire within him that was seen in other episodes where he's very passionate about things in one way or another. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because obviously there's been this 10-year jump. We don't know what exactly has happened in between, other than obviously he married Laena, who we saw him cuddling up with last episode. Obviously having these several children, or couple of children, I guess. Seeing as another one didn't make it. I think it's a really interesting place for him to be in. Being a dad and obviously very much loving one of his daughters, the other one not so much.
What's up with that?
It's because she doesn't have a dragon.
Okay, yeah, true.
That's the important thing to him. And this birthing scene is kind of an interesting juxtaposition to the one in the first episode where that same option comes up and like clearly he doesn't take it.
You can tell he thinks about it. Considers it. But then we just skip ahead and she's walked out there. So I don't know how the conversation played out. If he was just like mulling over it and then she just couldn't take the pain anymore and she just decided to.
I think he decided to keep her alive and they lost the baby and she was so distraught that she.
You think that's what?
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like she was going to die or but no.
Or they cut the baby out and she's like so upset that she wants to get burned. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, she was very distraught. And he does chase her out.
You'd have to be pretty distraught
to do that.
To do that. Also, very impressive to get up and, I assume, moments after giving birth, especially when we consider what we just saw with
you see two
Rhaenyra
women
at the
do
first
it in
episode.
Yeah. So, and I don't feel like the show does it's hard for me to say as a man, but I don't feel like the show does a bad job at just like showing that,
this is pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible, yeah. They make sure to include things like afterbirth and the pain and all this sort
just
of
that
stuff.
last shot of that opening sequence of them walking down that last hall and Laena looking back at like all the blood along the ground.
Blood, yeah.
And
then they even throw in stuff about the breast pain, I guess. Feels like.
And then she, during that big moment in the council, she's milked through her top.
Lactating,
yeah.
Yeah, so interesting episode for definitely birth, I guess.
Yeah.
Season's all about birth. Good ones, bad ones.
Yeah.
Anything else I missed?
I mean, we do get that training sequence in the dragon pit with the kids.
Just shows that fucking Alicent's kids are a piece of shit.
Do you think he was behind the pig stunt? Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I assume he was behind it. He's the oldest kid, so he's really being told what to do by the other ones? No, I don't believe that for a second. And at the end of the day, I'm also like, she's like, oh, these kids are so bad. I was like, I don't know. Like, seems like I understand it's like mean, but in the scheme of things,
but it's clever.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. Yeah. From what we see, that dude is definitely going to be, he's not named Joffrey.
Oh, he's totally going to be king, and ruin everything.
That's what I'm assuming. So.
But yeah, also you leave off with Alicent Rhaenyra being like, hey, let's get out of here.
Which is
fair. Back to Dragonstone.
I can totally understand. She's living with, she lived with her father thinking that he was, would protect her, but it's now at the stage where he's the king in name, but, she's running the show, so. Yeah.
So I guess she can come back anytime because she's got dragons. She can just fly back pretty quickly. Yeah. It's like having a private jet. I fully expect Daemon to be back in Westeros next episode.
I watched the
teaser
trailer, and it has Daemon with Rhaenyra, so.
Interesting. Whether they team up. Who's going to be the hand next episode?
It's going to be fucking Otto.
Really? You think after 10 years?
Yep.
Because you saw him in the trailer, or because you think that's...
No, I'm just assuming that she somehow fucking managed to weasel her dad back in.
Yeah, possibly. Well, that was the telling thing. It's like, when she says he was biased towards me during that scene with her. She's
like, I just want someone who's fair. And it's like, and then the only sane thing that fuckface says is like, well, your dad wouldn't be fair either.
Biased,
and then she's like, well, he would be biased to me. It's like, well, okay, you showed your true side there, didn't you? So.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it. Council for this week is over for South of King's Landing. Check out, of course, all our other after shows that are happening right now. Lord Rings Extended, Middle Earth Podcast, where we're talking all things Rings of Power, all new Marvelcast, where we're talking about She-Hulk. What do you want us? Where we're talking about everything movies, TV, and media. And, of course, if you like the fantasy side of the world, because there's so much... No, sci-fi. If you enjoy sci-fi stuff as well, make sure you check out Holocron entries for Going Rogue and/or discussion that's just started as of last week. So check out all that. There's a million podcasts and after shows happening right now on ExplosionNetwork.com, a website you should homepage as well. Until next week, stay away from flying.